my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. Let the skeletons dance to it, the fun and the amusement, the smoke and the confusion, Holy Ghost and some puking. But not while I'm cruising, I don't fuck with looking stupid. New sheriff in town, jury, judge, execution. In our constitution, all night prostitution, financial solution. Gotta keep my dollars boosting, gotta keep my money coming. 15s be humming, rocket engine be running. Old school still stunting. I'm bending corners from California back to Arizona, and in between we got plenty desert for organ donors. Mafia shit, 30 round Glock clip. Check the numbers in your click before you get to mumbling shit. Better control your liquor, plus that bottom lip. Cowboys down here, we be tumbling bricks. You don't know about this legendary classic. Angels singing above caskets. My posse go out blasting. My Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. 26s stand tall on Flamingo and Caval. You niggas forgot how to be men while you trying to ball. So don't expect respect when you trying to make calls. We keeps a foot up a bitch's ass, and that is the law. Nigga, that is not all. Make that money fall like sun rays, gunplay one day, cause some say the man that stands on bones is alone on the throne. I keep this moon rocking this backwood while I'm getting some dome. If your horsepower ain't that good, leave that weak shit at home. Be prepared to catch this day before you squeeze on that chrome. Make your fucking grave with no name or no tombstone. If you don't like the way we move, you can get the fuck on. This the wild, wild west. We thrive on the wrong. High noon tide, coon, we do this all day long. So you better break bread before your butter is gone. Cause the show ain't over until the ladies isn't thong. Keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. Lucifer's rage. Don't you remember the days we was on the same page? Now we graduated from the 12 gauge to AK. We looking for who's paid. Give a fuck about how it's made. Send that bitch to the blade. Send that stitch to the grave. I am not switching my ways. This is OG Fossil Colossal from Las Vegas to Chicago. My with exotic models. Spend a couple racks, diamond knuckles on the bottle, nigga. Go figure. They wanna talk shit, but that soft bitch won't step inside my office. We ain't taking no losses. The crosses, rosary beads. Godfather, you niggas don't know about me. I've kept it OG from the fucking start. This ain't in candy paint. Put a flame to your heart. Lasers follow these bullets as they glow in the dark. Life's a Shakespeare stage, and I'm just playing my part. We are displaying the art. Nigga, how about you? Niggas clout chase like that bullshit's a plate of food. This is the state of the rude. Niggas DOA over he say, she say, life ain't no replay. play or a tape to rewind. This is double level, what the fuck is demon time? We shine on this grind just like wisdom teeth. The gods' ism is deep. An Egyptian priest that mob in a Lambo on beast, dressed in a camel with a piece, the animal beast, and don't believe in defeat, and we will never retreat. Say it again, make them kiss the feet, then put two in the wind. For the 7 deadly sins, them boys got thick skin, they be knee deep in. He's a hero for hire, check the date if used by, it is never expired. Never seen a real nigga that got to retire, ride out of this pyramid on 4 flat tires. What does the game require? You brag about your money, you do that shit on these streets, you'll be a crash test dummy. We ski mask when we hungry, surgery for the ugly. No need for mean mugging, this supreme clean thugging. PLR 16 with a green bean dumping, only cause you staring at me like I'm owing you something. Niggas get pissed and then they post it on their page. This is Lucifer's Rage and my name is Luke Cage.
Yo, what's good? Okay, yeah, do that. Y'all could do that today. I'm just here to kick it. You know, I got to do this every once in a while. We're going to get back to the Kicked Out of Heaven for show. It's still going half off right now. $50. Go ahead and get it. Total is $61 with shipping and handling. It's right out the door to you with a certificate of authenticity. Okay. It's very important that you have that material. It expedites you through life. It expedites you through the understanding of how to operate in Western civilization, which really isn't given to you in any other location, but right here with the Kicked Out of Heaven. So go to kickedoutofheaven.com and buy it immediately. You dig? Same with the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women, you know, and I'll probably have to go in on that a little bit. It seems like every single phone call I get on, or all my homies, you know, they I'm pretty sure the fans and whatnot, they want me to get a new chick in my life and all of this other shit, you know, because I was more comical, more fun spirited, more free spirited, and that's what, you know, love in a relationship does, you know, when it's real, you know, and when that's with who you want, you know. And I'm not in that space, you know. Mercury retrograde is actually until January 1st. So yeah, and it's good. I'm glad you brought that up as well. I know I got that in the title of the video. Hold on tight. It is documented that during Mercury retrograde, more suicides are committed. So, you know, it is a mental thing. You know, it's a mental disturbance that comes from Mercury retrograde, turns everything around backwards. Mercury rules over Gemini, and Mercury is also the criminal mind frame, which is found in Roman mythology. When you understand who Mercury is, it's Roman mythology that that names all the gods after Greek mythology by planets. Okay, so and I think, don't quote, in Greek mythology that is Janus. I think, hold on, I can check that while I'm is Janus, hold on here, let's do it. Is Janus Mercury in Roman mythology? I got so much stuff in my head, you know. I gotta, you know, who is Roman version of Mercury? Okay. No, Mercury is Mercurius. Let me see here. Yeah, I like to present things correctly, and if I don't have it memorized, then I'll have to go research it. It's pretty simple, you know. I don't like to give out bad information, and that's why I'm still standing to this day. Okay, as we've watched a lot of oh, his Greek equivalent is Hermes, and his Egyptian equivalent is Thoth. Okay, so yeah, there it is. So, but anyways, um, it's a serious situation. How Mercury retrograde can affect you. I want you to stay down. The best way to stay down is to read, stay based. And as I was stating earlier, I know a lot of my fans want me back into the whole playful, comical mind frame, and all of that shit. But hey, if it's not here, it's not here. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? The God 720 gonna stay the God 720 at all times, regardless. But when it comes to being a father or being the man or being a man, period, it's either gonna be finances or a beautiful woman or women that's going to have you in a pleasant mind frame, okay, and being more comical and things of that nature. And the situation is ugly when it comes to what everybody has socially accepted and have been engineered into over the past 10, 20 years. It's really disgusting. I don't see how people didn't realize that that's what was going on, with the constant pickup of the activity or the constant mimicking of the activity that, quote unquote stars conduct themselves by in Hollywood. The guys of Attorney El Paso was definitely comical. Yeah, Texas is a good zone for me. Will I move back to Texas? Nah, most likely not. I'm probably gonna be, keeping my stake right here in Vegas until a nigga hits a nigga hits the fucking dirt. All that moving around, I've been doing a lot of moving around during the whole course of my life. I don't really like it. That's part of the reason why I'm solo right now. You know what I'm saying? What people don't know, I'll share this with you. You know, um, kindergarten, I was in Garrison. First, second grade, I was in St. Paul. Third grade, I was at Walker. Fourth, fifth, sixth grade, I was at Bloom. Seventh grade, I was in West Middle School. This is all in Rockford, Illinois. Half of eighth grade, I was in West, and then ninth grade, the other half of eighth grade, I was in Atlanta, Georgia. And then ninth grade, I was in Atlanta, Georgia. Then 10th grade, I was back in Illinois. And then 11th and 12th grade, I was in El Paso, Texas. And then I moved to Georgia. So you see what I'm saying? Like, it's always been constant block, constant switch up, change of dimension, change of dimension, change of dimension. That's why my brain can, write the books that I've done on serious subjects and move in between a lot of different dimensions like that. It's because I was designed to have the capability to do that. And you even see that in my music. But then at the same time, that capability was also designed to if you don't want to stay along, then don't be along. People fall out of my life like nothing. I don't even, when somebody comes around, I don't know what your concentration or your stability lines are when it comes to your mental health or whatever the case. And I had to stand back and look at myself with the development of the 3-volume series and see, I can't expect anybody to have the same concretedness or the same focus and that I got, you know? So, yeah, that's just what it is right now. Y'all can put up a lot of comments or whatever the case. I'm here to engage. So, that's what we're doing right now. We're not reading out of the books, even though the next video I do, which will be coming up tomorrow, will be on the Kicked Out of Heaven Volume 1. We're going to be talking about the animals that were taken to court. I'm going to be reading directly out of the book. Okay. What are your thoughts on the movie Obama dropped, Leave the World Behind? I don't know. Somebody told me to look at that movie, Leave the World Behind. I haven't I haven't looked at that, and you can't leave the world behind, because that's where you live. There is no, I can put my mind and my brain somewhere else, but my physical body still has all these responsibilities to deal with. I really feel like that's an attempt to maintain the lack of development that our generation has and the lack of focus on the government and on our society and its sustenance. A lot of these things, I mean, why would a president or a prior president put out a movie called Leave the World Behind? That directly tells me that you are trying to psychologically implement, you are trying to socially engineer people into a status of irresponsibility and lack of connection with each other and lack of teamwork, and that allows them to create a whole country of slaves and bums that they can go pick off of for whatever workload they want done, or whatever um you know whatever sexual perversion they're trying to put in, which we have seen a mass amount of elites. They like to conduct their perversion with the kidnappees and the kidnapped children and the whole human trafficking thing, which is a very real scenario. And it takes me a lot to really accept that as a reality, because it hasn't directly affected me and I don't know anybody that it has directly affected. So, but that's just like the fentanyl world and all of that. I don't know nothing about that world. These are real worlds that are going on right now as we speak. And I don't know I've never seen it, never touched it. I don't know. So because I don't know, I keep that position of not knowing. I don't know, but they're very real from enough evidence that has been provided through YouTube or through documentaries or through court cases that pop up. That's just it, I don't like social engineering. I don't like influence from people. So I keep a lot of those realms cut completely off from me and my sons, because you don't know where people's influences are coming from, and every movie is it has an attempt to influence you, is what you don't understand. Is what a lot of people don't get. Theater and how theater is designed is for you to be attached to the main character. Whatever happens to the main character, you have already psychologically set yourself up to have those things occur to you as well, and for you to make the same decisions. It's gotten to make the same bad decisions that they implement in films. That's one thing on why I stopped watching films real early, like early 2000s, was I noticed that they were trying to enforce that, and that was bad decision making. You can make bad decision making in films and still come out with good results, because in essence it is a script. But in the real world, you cannot make bad decisions and think you're going to come out with good results. That's not how it works. And they've really rewired people's minds into thinking that making bad decisions is what builds tough skin, and or makes you, a tough guy or whatever. And that's not necessarily the case. Making bad decisions, it will leave you in a social condition where you have to have tough skins. So you go out, you make the bad decision, you steal the car ends up being, the chief of police's little sister's car, and you didn't know that. You stole the car, you drove off, you were drunk, you killed somebody, you've made bad decisions, and now you're in the penitentiary, and you have to have tough skin inside the penitentiary in order to survive. And that's just how it works. You see, so now now that you've made bad decisions, you have to operate with tough skin for further survival. But guess what? That's only on that social class, and there's a lot of other social classes out here in the world. That's what I'm saying. So it's optional if you want to live with the tough skin or the tough guy. appearance and attitude, you see, which is unnecessary because the tough guy has no annual pay rate. The OG has no annual pay rate. You know, the gangster has no annual pay rate. The fireman does. You know, the lawyer does. The doctor does. You can see annual pay rates for those job titles, those careers. You see, so it's an ugly situation. A lot of people think, jumping into the whole tough guy zone by making bad decisions is some grandiose thing where, you're super OG and the world respects you as such. Well, the majority of situations, you take that super OG and you put him in the country club and he turns into a mouse. You see, you could take that super OG, that thug, and a lot of those cats who's been in the penitentiary for 30 years, and you put them on the streets, and they turn into, the nobody, the nothing, because you can't survive out here in the real world, because your mind has been fully wired on how to survive on the inside, and that's where your thing is at. You got power and position out there, but when it comes to, a room full of CEOs or CFOs of a multitude of different companies, you are nothing. You devolve. You run out of the room. You run out of the building. Right. Because you turn into a pussy and don't even know that you turned into a pussy. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't stand up with the line of achievements that has been made. Now, some of them can. Don't get me wrong. A lot of those niggas in the federal pen, yeah, they can do that. They can stand in the room with the CEOs and the CFOs like it's nothing, because they've hustled on those levels, or they've dealt with individuals on those levels on the outside before they went on the inside. And they also dealt with a similar financial rate, the financial class. So, those are some of those rules. I don't advocate, nor do I, wish for anybody to go through those type of situations. It's unnecessary and it's a waste of time. And culturally, we've been bounded into that type of condition where we think those things are important, and they're not important. And, in no case of the word, it's not important. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. So, but yeah, let's talk about it. A lot of people, like I was stating earlier before I went to ranting on that, a lot of people have been coming around me, a lot of my homies, friends, whatever, and they've been complaining or been trying to get their woman to work with them. And I got some experience in this area. Okay. So let me go ahead and say what I got to say in this. If you're a native, if you have African American background, Islander background, if you have I can't really say that for the Mexicans. They operate a little bit differently for a multitude of different reasons. But don't really expect for your female to work with you. If she does it out of her own nature, which is the only way it'll happen, then fine. That's good. That's a beautiful thing. But don't expect it, and if you have to enforce it, don't do it. You're wasting your fucking time. Okay. And one of the reasons you're wasting your time is because it's not in their genetics. For somebody who is have the entrepreneur mind, they most likely came from their parents by watching their parents commit, entrepreneur activities and make finances from it. They were successful in that area. So as a child, you witnessed that. So you will attempt to do the same thing as an adult. Men, when you want to look at gender history, men have been operating with finances since ancient Egypt and beyond. Okay. Women by collective, and you want to throw in mass hysteria here. They just now started understanding, or they haven't even really understood it yet, because it takes a while for you to understand how to operate with money. You may get a big lump sum of money, and you don't know what to do with it, and you don't know how to keep it growing and keep it advancing, for your pockets. So Don't do it. They don't have it. They've just now experienced finances within the past 10 to 20 years because of the internet. If there was no internet, we would still be in a very good situation when it comes to men be able to woo a woman and talk to a woman and get through fights together and get through disagreements and all of that, and get over the privatization, the things that happen in the private of their relationship. So nowadays it's a popular thing for you to go through hell and high water with your woman and then expose all your personal elements on the internet. And one thing people got to understand about exposure, because that's one thing a lot of natives like to do um, for their popularity, is that how other races look at exposers or whistleblowers is that you're a traitor. You know, they'll listen to your information, but they're not going to, sync with you. They're not going to invite you out. They're not going to look at you in any worshiping type format. They're not going to follow you or anything like that. They just look at you as a trader. You're not going to get any personal, you know um accolades, that like what happened with Tasha K, what's happened with Jaguar Wright, and what's happened with a lot of other people. They thought that exposing stars and all of this other shit is going to get you somewhere, and it didn't. It didn't get you no goddamn where. It fucked your life up more, because you are now exposed as a traitor, and nobody likes a traitor. It's a gut wrenching thing. You see what I'm saying? So, and also know that you get too deep into the beef lines with your woman, she'll try to do the expose shit too. And when they do, they only do it to try to sabotage your name and your career. And that comes after. So here's the procedure. When it comes to you and the lady, don't turn your relationship into any type of healing type of thing. I know I talked about that in the Black Man's Bible. Don't attempt to do that. Send her to her therapist or whatever, and waste your money on the dumbass therapist. Okay. And because when you do that, you turned your relationship into a doctor patient type of relationship. But that's not what you want. And that also leans into the space of what I was talking about earlier about your woman working with you on whatever industry you're dealing with, or whatever your entrepreneur goals are. You'll turn your relationship into a boss and secretary. Don't do that either. Because it will disturb the energies of the respect that you all had before it went down this route. Um, Digging up a person's past, I now call it dancing with the skeletons in their closet. Don't make the skeletons dance in their closet. Because see, like what has happened with me, and I have to use myself as an example because I don't know any other examples. Um, when because I have that energy on me, sometimes people can feel it, and they just come up to me spilling their guts on shit, and I don't necessarily want to hear your traumas or your dramas from the past. I don't give a fuck. Okay. I don't want to hear that shit. Unless you're paying me for a consultation, then I don't want to hear it. And the main reason I'm being is because people spill their guts to you and hope that you treat them like a baby, and change their diapers, and give them gifts and treat them with a whole level of sensitivity. And I'm not going to do that. When I'm going, my what's going to happen with me is that the way I look at you is going to merge. It's going to change a little bit, and then I'm going to get to micromanaging your behavior to see where your behavior matches in with the traumas that occurred to you earlier in life. So now it's become doctor patient. And then once I see certain things in your behavior that's connected to prior traumas, I try to remove it, or I say, hey, that's wrong. Let's rewire this. And a lot of people can't do that because traumas are embedded inside one's character as it has developed over the years before you even encountered this person. You see? So, don't do the dancing with the skeletons in the closet. If they got skeletons, then fine. If they want to get something off their chest to you because you're their best friend or y'all have attached to each other on a certain level and she feels comfortable and she needs to get something off her chest, then allow that to happen. Don't cast any judgment because that's what, you know, I'm going to do. And I don't do that out of a space of, ooh, you're nasty, cash judgment. No, I do that out of a space of my own survival, which is what I'm worried about. Obviously, because I've been through so many unstable situations with my environment consistently changing, I'm big on stability. And with me being big on stability, I can't have anybody in my zone that has an attempt or may be able to affect my stability in any way unless it's positive, which means there's financial growth and we're doing things to maximize the finances because finances are the only thing that secures you nowadays. You see, that's why I have books. That's why I developed the product, because I understood that anything on this internet can cut like that. So let me get a tangible product. And, if you say one wrong thing on one of these streaming services, you're automatically clipped. And they have the power over you, even though there is a possibility for you to make millions. And that is a good thing. A lot of people have become rich, but then a lot of people have also have their lives taken. I bet you there's more people who have encountered downfalls and life rip ups. Their whole life has been flipped upside down versus those who have become millionaires off the internet. Okay. Even though I read a statistic that 1,700 millionaires are made a day in America. So, who knows, but at the end of the day, don't make the skeletons in the closet dance. Don't expect for your female, especially if she's native, to be in any assistant line of your entrepreneurism. When we understand financial growth, when it comes to a culture, we look at the Asians, we look at the Caucasians, and what we see is we see the males who have educated themselves in a multitude of different subjects are able to sit down in the boardroom in a stance of agreement and make proper decisions for expansion. And this expansion is based on a product or a service which is going to be a solution to a problem to a multitude of different people. Okay, and we need to provide it at pennies on the dollar. Okay, and we need to leave room for everybody to get paid, and that is also the lower tiers of the structure when it comes to a corporate structure. Your managers, your executives, so on and so forth. So that's how it is done. Is done with the male brain unified with other male brains that are all educated on these things. And to even go further, the majority of those male brains are born from families who's been working on the same financial class level, if not the same industry, but the majority of the time it would be the same industry, as we see old businesses from the 1800s, so on and so forth, was Johnson and Sons, or Daniels and Brothers, or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it operates. Don't expect for your woman to cooperate or operate with you in whatever entrepreneurial goals that you have. It will be a lot of stress on your mind. Okay. And that's one thing I personally did in both my past relationships. I'll never do again. I understand it, but once again, based off of individualistic survival, I'm not in a group of any sort, and I sort of despise groups. I'm not gonna lie, and there's a multitude of reasons why, but we're not gonna go down that zone right now. So, because of individualistic survival, which I've been doing for the past 4 years, I've been maintaining my home, my cars, my everything all on my back with no assistance. Um, and taking care of my sons, who are straight A students, by the way, both of them, so yeah, don't expect to do it. I'll never do that again. In a new relationship, I'll be a completely different person than I was in the prior two relationships. And that's what's very interesting. A lot of people read the Black Man's Bible or other books that I've written and expect me to be operating in the same standpoint. I don't have the type of brain that majority has, or what the woman expects for everybody to be a one-track thinker. I change, I develop, and I change. And that's another thing. If you're a book reader, sometimes and you don't expect for your girl to read either, you're just going to have to find the simplistic space to keep her in a happy stance. Okay. And even though that may change, okay, because people change over time. If you're a book reader, you may fall into the space of quote unquote growing out of the relationship because you have matured and they haven't. Okay. So for instance, my last relationship, I came in, I wasn't an author. By the time I was done, I was an author. Not only that, but an author on witchcraft, an author on voodoo, an author on, women and all other types of subjects that I've written about. So I developed, I grew. And she didn't, and that's just, yeah, and that's just what it is. It's funny, somebody said that God bless us all, Jesus, God, and baby Jesus. That's right. And I posted something on the Facebook. I'm gonna show y'all right now. It's kind of funny. I posted something on the Facebook stating Jesus is not an option. Jesus is the answer. And I got fact checked by Facebook. Watch. Look at this shit. False information in a post that you shared. Jesus is not an answer. Oh, so it must mean clearly that Facebook is for the devil. Why would they fact check Jesus on my post, B? This is probably the first post I ever made of something like that, which was a repost for somebody else that I saw on my wall. And they fact checked Jesus on my wall, B, and say this is false information. So I don't know what that's telling me. The internet must be devil's own. I don't know what the fuck that is. But yeah, that was kind of crazy. So yeah, this is what's going on in life right now, in my life, and in other people's lives. A lot of dudes are coming at me complaining about their girl not working with them on their business or not knowing what to do. She's not ever going to know what to do. It's not in her DNA. It's not in her gender history. Nothing about finances or business or paperwork or anything of those natures are inside of a woman's comprehension. Now, it is in the white females. And the reason why is because the white female was with the white male during the entire build of America, during the entire time period of Greece, Rome, and medieval times. She was there and she was in assistance, and also understands the stress and the pressure that the white male may go through, and also his werewolfism that he may go through in order to develop, in order to produce. And no other woman can state that besides the Asian woman. The Chinese woman can. She's been, and they have a uninterrupted historical line. China, and so does India. And you do not see those women out here mating with other races, okay, or open to. There may be a little bit, a couple of them, but not by mass, and they won't, because they carry a doctrine that all other races are inferior, and every race carries a doctrine of other races are being inferior, even the black race. And you're talking all the millennium stuff. That is the so-called doctrine that they hold, that all other races are inferior. Okay. And that is a natural thing to do when it comes to the human psyche, in order to what's the word I'm looking for? To celebrate or to hold your race as some form of superior. Now a doctrine is one thing, and it being an actual thing is a whole different thing, and that has to be proven by your provisions and science and things of that nature. Now, one Gems for Him says, I keep seeing 72 everywhere. The Tree of Life blueprint of Kabbalah, 72 angels, 72 devils, 72 names of God. Yeah, that's deep in the religion spaces. There's only 72 books for the history of Greece. The 72 is found in the most important spaces of every single mythology system on this planet. Okay. And I've seen it because I've ran into it. I ran into it because of my academia.edu and the different locations that read my books. I go to their locations and I see what the city is about, or what monuments they may have there, or what saints are dedicated there and whatnot. And 72 is everywhere. 72 is everywhere. And I didn't know that. I was just a kid using a nickname 720. That was my nickname. That's it. It got turned into the God 720 when the YouTube was made by my baby moms. Okay. So the God 720 is very powerful if you fully understand the true essence of what's going on with that name. Yeah, and I didn't find out about all the 72s everywhere until I wrote volume 2 of the Kicked Out of Heaven. Then I saw it and it blew my mind away. My mind was blown. I really didn't know how to take it. When you look at the term, the Black Man's Bible, written by the God 720, that's some dangerous stuff right there. When you understand it underneath the Western civilization and all the theology that has 72 in it, or even the term Black man. Okay. Yeah, it's heavy stuff that you've witnessed with me, that a lot of the stuff I didn't know that's what was going on, but came through me to be created as it was due because of the timing, and also a lot of the things that's been occurring socially, that obviously people just follow whatever is being stated by European descent on the social apps, or even on the internet. I mean, how many different TikTok people are out here, or whatever app you go to, and they're just telling you, hey, be like me, press 5 buttons on this website, you'll be a millionaire. That's the type of thing that's going on. And it's all full of the shit. It's a system of having you run around, chase your fucking tail, and achieve nothing, and we could definitely see this with the children in the schools nowadays. They don't get their work done. They don't listen to the teacher. The majority of them are illiterate. They come from a lot of bad homes. My sons personally can't even maintain good relationships with a lot of kids because they disappear. And the reason they disappear is because my generation is terrible at parenting. And we're still stuck in this Beavis and Butthead bullshit zone of let's go party, let's go get fucked up, let's laugh at everything, and that's all we need to do. And it's left our children in peril. So there's a lot of adults who are out here who are stuck in these zones of addiction, and they don't even see it. They don't know it. Yeah, they don't know it, and because they don't know it, they don't see themselves in addiction. They can't stare in the mirror thoroughly. Their children, in their mind, psychologically, are still running around with a diaper at 5 years old, when the child is really like 15, 16 years old. And they're being highly affected by all the decisions that you make, especially when it comes to your mate, divorces, separations, moving out of state, moving here, moving there. And you're very self-centered, not to consider how you're affecting your child, and how your children's social capabilities will play out, or how their relationships capabilities will play out during the course of their life. And you won't see the success of your child, or how good you were as a parent, until your child hits around 30, 35. And then you'll be able to see, are they able to maintain themselves in society, and are they able to produce and give back, and things of that nature, and how they treat people and how people treat them. And all of that is very important. And my generation, we are not seeing that. A lot of my generation has fallen off into alcoholism, fentanyl, drugs, marijuana, things of all that nature. And it's crippled our children and their comprehension of existence, and how they'll be able to maintain relationships, if that's even a thing. Because I've seen some of my son's friends, and that's even over here in the richer side of Las Vegas. They disappear for a week, 2 weeks out of school. They got F's on all their report cards. I sort of got to end up being a neighborhood dad sometimes and tell little kids, hey man, make sure you get good grades, make sure you're on point with your grades, make sure this and that, this and that, this and that. And it's sad, it's just sad. It's sad, we've been moved around like rats in a maze. And that's only because you're not educated enough to be the scientist. You see, the scientist knows he's a scientist, but the rat doesn't even know he's in a maze. So until you educate yourself like a scientist, you are a rat, And I'm not saying that to be aggressive with name calling or anything of that nature, which I should be. That is the original 720 rah. But a lot of people can't handle that. They get offended. And once they get offended, they want to launch some weird form of attack, and then I have to fuck them up. And then they look at me, oh, why you do me like that? Because a lot of people will declare war on you and not even know that they're declaring war, because they don't know what war is. Okay? And as soon as you incited some form of, I'm going to compete with this guy, that is a type of war, And once it's been identified that you've declared war, well, then we're going to get to the end means of war. And that means the exile, the excommunication, which is also a form of death, and you got to put one out of their capabilities, and you have to disseminate, break down whatever their capabilities are towards you when it comes to, concluding war. They want war and don't even know that they've declared war. And this happens with a lot of females. A lot of females will choose to compete with you, because they can't produce what you're producing. And in their mind, especially if a female has been raised in an environment where there is no father, they look at males as they're superior to the male, because in essence, women do give birth to men, and women give birth to male boys. You know what I'm saying? And once they get with a man, they usually get with a man out of curiosity, and they just want to see how he cooks food or how he operates in the household and how he does this, how he does that. And then once they find out how he does, things, they'll try to hold him up against this picture of perfection, which is now either supported by what they were taught by Walt Disney as a child, or the Jesus, picture. And this picture of perfection, and anything you do outside of this space of perfection, you are no longer the person that I look up to. So then, for a man to rehash that, he has to be able to produce. So then when you do produce, and you consistently produce, and she can't produce or stay on your same rate of production, she will try to compete with you. She will compete with you based off of the things that you taught her, and usually by trying to take the things that you taught her and giving it to other males or family members or things of that nature, to try to reinforce the good feeling that she is a superior somewhere, right? And this is when she's outside of the mama space. She hasn't given birth to a child, or maybe her child has already grown and is in the world on his own. Okay. If that's capable, if he's not relying on another girl who resembles his mom. Okay. So after she does that, and she still sees that you're still producing and she can't compete with you in this realm, she'll go ahead and fall into a space of, war, of true battle. And even though competition is also a form of war, as I stated earlier, she will try to socially embarrass you, and after that, it's done. So she'll try to find some type of space or something that you're doing in the realm of backwardness and try to expose that to the world or to your immediate social group. Okay. And once she does that, she really can't pull her head out of the sand anymore. There is no revitalization of the relationship or anything like that. And she'll she'll hide, she'll disappear. And they do this out of her own thinking. The male could be watching her do all of this shit and he don't even know what the fuck is going on. But she's running around developing a lot of bullshit in her brain, and it's unnecessary for you to do that, but that's the standpoint that she's in, especially if she hasn't had a father. So she expects you to be in some type of inferior position, and that's financially and also socially. So she expects you to be working at the warehouse, and therefore she has the right to complain that you're not treating her in the princess standpoint, and she complains to her friends. And this complaint area is not the complaint area amongst women is a speciality of I'm a ruler. I'm at least a ruler of a bum, you know, that I can complain about, you know. And now we have a subject that we can, relate on, and other girls can try to help, And if it's not a complaint, it's a bragging condition. The bragging condition is what my man did for me, and all this other shit. She does that amongst other females because females think that females are the power structure of this planet, when in reality they're not. You haven't designed religion, you do not design law, you can't enforce law. The only thing you could do is use socialism as your battlefield, and this is where you conduct your crimes. You conduct your crimes behind closed doors on your children and on your husband, and you create stagnation for yourself, which in reality, if you flip the coin, if you weren't being the witch and you flip the coin into assistance as God has intended by you being a helpmate, you could put your family, your husband, and put you in a position in Fortune 500. You're making humongous money. You're getting respect everywhere you go and things of that nature if you support it. Okay. And that support doesn't happen overnight neither, ladies. Okay. So the 9-month 280-day gestation cycle is about where a woman's mind is built to when it comes to a limit. They're not in a position of understanding high level gratuities after 10-20 years of work and staying focused on that. We also have to understand that majority of girls don't play sports, so they don't even know how to be a teammate. They don't know how to work with you, especially if they didn't have a father. That's nowhere near their understanding. Okay, there's nowhere near it. Go look up this Project 2025, because the statistics that the government has pulled up from the observation of single mother household has made them declare war on the single mother, which is supposed to be happening in 2025. There's going to be a major social shift on how the government allows households to be sustained, and single fathers will be criminalized, and mothers who have not single fathers, but single mothers will be criminalized, and women who have a so-called stepfather inside the household will also be criminalized. It'll be a demonized situation. And when I do say criminalized, I do mean by you being arrested and apprehended for having a stepdad in the house, because when you look at the statistics, the majority of sexual assault occurs by step parents. Okay. So the females that are out here on their dating apps talking about how many children they have are dumbasses. Okay. And they are basically inviting very nasty situations to occur, especially if you have daughters. But this is part of the female gender history, that women have always put up their daughters for men to stay around instead of themselves, so they can maintain a voice and be heard. You see, because what women understand is that when that heavy pipe is laid on you, you're being shown in a position of your eyes rolling in the back of your head and your arms flaring everywhere and you're pissing, you're squirting everywhere. And the man loses respect for your whole decision-making capability because he sees that while he can maintain focus and please you and also please and make sure that he gets his pleasure side out of it, you can't focus on a goddamn thing. You're in a whole nother dimension. Okay. And then you're also inviting degradation. You want your hair pulled, you want to get smacked around, you want to get called foul names and things of that. And these things excite you. Now, that does not excite a man to be called a bitch during the course of fucking. You see, so because you like those things and because that's deeply embedded in your system, due to the fact that statistics shows that rape is the number one female fantasy. Okay. And that's what they look at when they're looking at the porn and shit. So what do you say about that, ladies? Okay. Your decision making is off. And I'm going to tell you the root reason, because that's only one reason. That's not the root. The root reason is because biologically, you have your menses every month, and every 3 weeks, your decision making skills completely flip upside down. So you can't maintain a position of rulership when you can't stay concrete on your decision making. Okay. And this is the bottom line. Because you have a menstrual cycle, your decision making switches up because the metal metabolisms inside your body, the heavy metals, the trace amounts inside your body do not stay the same. Okay. And you have to be quote unquote cleansed. Okay. Because that's what the whole process is. All right. So, due to the fact that occurs and it messes with your psyche, then hey, you can't rule. Okay. Because when a decision is made, a decision has to be stuck with. And if you can't do what you say you're going to do, you have automatically made yourself a traitor and a liar. Okay. If you cannot produce what you say you're going to produce. Okay. Um, yeah. Yeah. So I was just reading the comments. Like I said, y'all put up the comments. If y'all got questions, think of some questions. We're just here kicking it, for right now. But yeah, these are the bottom line things, man, of the whole picture. The white female has been put through 500 years of being burned at the stake. They went through 200, 300 years of etiquette school. And then after that, they were able to produce sons that took on wars on the whole planet, put embassies all up on the planet, and put vehicles on the streets, built buildings and things of that nature. Okay. And no other races went through that process. Well, I will admit they went through a similar process, and the white female also went through that, and that's mass prostitution. Okay, and I'm not saying that as and advocating it, even though that is what has occurred. You can check that out with India's history. You can check that out with Chinese and Japan's history. You can check that out with Mexico's history. When it comes to African tribal history, we're looking at a situation of a king being a female hoarder, basically a pussy hoarder. And with you being a pussy hoarder, you marry in 200, 300 wives and got all these concubines and all this other shit. And that may also be equative to the lack of production that we still witness today. There is a lack of production. Okay, there's a lack of understanding the rules, and there is also a lack of too much encouragement on morality that will stagnate your progression and your development, especially on a large societal standpoint. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely wanted to put that out there. I've been providing sanity because I've been seeing that people have been that the social engineering that's been put in place, whether that's music, movies, video games, and even our food, has been geared to make you insane. And that is the root thing that we need that they need. And when we talk about the Illuminati or whatever, that they need for this civilization to collapse. Now, it's been a record historically that the majority of civilizations only last to about 250 to 275 years. And we're around that time point. We're around that time right now as we speak. 1776, 250 years is going to be what, 2026. Okay. That's 250 years plus 1776. So we're 3 years away from that down slope to occur. But if we pay attention, especially with the elites that know this information, they've studied well, they've maintained the documents from many different ancient civilizations, philosophers, and things of that nature. And we can see that they've known this. So there's enough evidence to say that this collapse of civilization that's going on right now is intentional. And for it to be intentional, we need to remove the individual capability, and we do that by making them worthless. Okay. And you're worthless because, and I'm not saying this to you specifically, I'm saying the plan that is being put down to make people worthless is making you reliant. When you're reliant, you don't produce for yourself and you can't produce for others because you have gotten conditioned with conveniency that's provided by who knows what. uh you know um yeah, a lot of people, yeah, to be honest, when it comes to psychology, besides Amos Wilson or even Francis Cress Welsing, rest in peace to both of them, psychology and sociology are subjects that have not been introduced to the Black collective nationwide. And I definitely proven that through the Kicked Out of Heaven series. Remind yourself, go get it now. It's only $50, kickedoutofheaven.com. That psychology is very real. Epigenetics is very real. It is connected to you, and it's connected through your name. It's connected through the language that you speak, and our experiences, not only as Black Americans, but also intertwined with the human race. That these things affect us, and they affect our behaviors, they affect our comprehension, and how we operate. And psychology needs to be definitely taken serious. And we don't take it serious because we don't understand the variabilities of science, and also that there has to be practice, trial and error, with quote unquote clinical studies. Okay. And that means you've tested a thing over 1,000 times in order to see that you have a repetition within your answer. Sometimes it has to be tested over 10,000 times. Sometimes it has to be tested over 10,000 times every year. Every 10 years, you have to do 100,000 times of the same test in order to get out the repetition to say this is the answer. You see? And a lot of natives don't like the answer. Black men really don't have a problem with answers. It's the fact that we listen to our women, and our women don't know. They don't know, period. They're right off when it comes to knowing. Okay. And even though I just mentioned Francis Cress Welsing, she was educated where? Howard University, I think. Exactly. She was involved in clinical studies, involved with, hand-on projects when it comes to discovering things in the realm of psychology, especially child psychology and things of that nature. Same with the sister Jewel Pookrum. Okay. She sat over a OBGYN for I think about 20 years. Okay. So she can speak, and she has the accreditations to do so. And me, I don't have any direct accreditations like a degree coming from a university, but I do have indirect accreditations when it comes to the material I produced and who is using my material for their research papers, which are universities in every single country on this planet. Okay. And it's been like that for years now, So, what I say does go, and that's why I have to be very careful on what I say, especially with the experiences that I've had here in Las Vegas pertaining to what I say. I don't know who's listening to me. I don't know who watches. And a lot of people, they watch and act like they don't watch. They go out and try to repeat what I'm saying or steal what I'm saying, or they'll come up to me saying things that I've said, or taught them through books that they read in their closet hiding. I don't know why people treat my material like that. Maybe because it's outside of the box, or everybody thought we were supposed to be in the same type of mind frame and live in the same type of lifestyle. And I don't get that. We're all different. We all come from different backgrounds and different religious rites or whatever the case. So I consider all of that, yeah, I could, because don't think just because I got large wordplay that I can't keep it gangster, my nigga. We can definitely go there if it has to go there. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what is the point? There is no point. See, I see no point in proving anything on a masculinity scale, especially to black males. Who gives a fuck? Like, what authority do you have in existence? Like, black male has authority where and what? Like, niggas need to stop the dumb shit and stop looking at each other and look at the globe, because the globe is laughing at you, and the globe is laughing at you because of your lack of production and your lack of capability, your lack of being able to feed each other. You cannot feed each other. You cannot produce for each other. You haven't done it. And if if other races have intervened you and stopped you from doing that, so be it. They can do that if they want to. This is natural law. Guess what you have to do? You have to go back to the drawing board and be more clever the next time and attempt it again and again and again until you have built a situation that is impenetrable, that cannot be broken. And that's what the line is. That's what the line is. You have to keep on doing it again until you have designed a situation where it can't be broken. The kicked out of heaven cannot be broken. Okay? Because I published it, I put it underneath my name, I compiled it, I put it together. And the book is based on Europeans talking to you about Europeans and their activity, because Europeans documented the majority of the statements that are said in it. And the universities and some of the professors that I have transcribed information from have, and because it's in the bibliography as well, those professors have stated that, yes, this is my material. Yes, I'm in the kicked out of heaven. Yes, he used the material. And there's been no backlash. There's been no problem with that. They haven't had a problem with it. So, it is what it is. We got any questions? Y'all need to shoot them up now. I still got an album coming out on January 4th. It is a fire album. I've already gotten the name for another album after that, but it's going to take some time. I really need to spend a lot of time right now on the streets and performing, so all the production, I'm like produced out. I've done enough when it comes to production, so we need to go ahead and switch gears and go into another lane. And I got to be definitely ferocious with it. I'm aggressive. I don't know how to play the game of smiles, so don't. If you walk up to me and I'm not smiling and happy, joy, I'm not a fucking 5-year-old kid. Please understand that. I'm not a 5-year-old kid, and let me go in on that real quick, because what people don't understand about the whole party nature and the party realm is that you have to have the mentality of a child. Especially when you're looking at the Instagram and people bragging about how much fun they're having. It's not important to me. I don't know who you are when you approach. So, I'm not a really smiling person. My mind is sort of set up for war at all times, because that's what I've experienced, and that's what a lot of other black males have experienced. But they went into the covert position of being numb. I'm not numb. I feel shit and I respond to what I feel, and I'm talking about physical or psychological. I don't use my emotions too much, but I respond to what the fuck I feel. The majority of people don't. They stay numb because they've been beaten to a pulp and they don't know how to thoroughly defend themselves. So you know, they respond with smiles, and hopefully that gets their whole position looked over or whatever the case. So if you approach me, don't expect no smiles like that. I'm not an angry person. I'm not an angry black man. None of that type of shit. I shake hands, I do all of that, and we can discuss on whatever you want to discuss about. For the locals that are listening, because I know there's locals listening, because they act like it. I can see it. You tell it on yourselves all the time. That you watch my videos and shit, and you won't say nothing on it though. But yeah, I'm not an aggressive person. I'm not finna be jumping at you or no shit like that, But when I'm out, especially I'm out having a little drink or whatever the case, I'm not in the mode to be talking about no high science shit. I'm not in the mode to be talking about what's going on with the government. Okay. I'm not in the mode to talk about none of that shit when I'm out and about on the streets. When I'm out on the streets, my eyes are at a different level of view on what's going on, Um so yeah, I'm just not in those phases. Um if I get to know you in private, then we can accelerate to those type of discussions. I usually don't like being in public with people that I don't know in private. If I know you in private, then we know how to sync with each other. We know how to look at shit, be like, yo, this nigga over here, yo, da, 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 da. What you think about this? Did you get that over there? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always on plan move. I'm always on, my mind is goal oriented. So when I'm in an environment, I'm trying to achieve something. If there's not nothing to achieve in this environment, then, I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? Because depending on fans, like I've watched a lot of fans. I mean, I've watched a lot of rappers try to get the fan picture, and they've been doing it for 10, 15 years. And I'm not just talking about local rappers. I'm talking about rappers across the whole country. I know niggas in many different cities across this country. So it ain't just local rappers. But, the fans don't stay. They're not there for that. The fans are there for the liquor and to shake their ass. They don't give a goddamn about what you saying on no bars. They're not memorizing your songs. Sometimes they do, and I will give a credit to that. I've seen a lot of local MCs where the audience is screaming the bars and whatnot, and that's a good thing. But when it comes to the reality of the scenario, niggas, there don't be too many likes. We don't know if the likes are authentic or not. You're fucking with adults, and you don't introduce products to adults. That's just one of the laws of products. This is the law of business. Unless you're dealing with some fucking Vagisil for a motherfucker. Besides that, my nigga, yeah, shadow banning. I know I'm shadow banned. A lot of people have hit me up from all areas of the country and said, B, I hear people using your wordplay. I hear people doing this, doing that. Nigga, I'm pretty sure your videos probably have 500,000, but they only showing you 500. And I'm like, man, I don't know. But I will tell you this. I have discovered that in some odd way, with the books that I've written, the way they're titled, and the things that I talk about in my literature, I have attached myself to the soul of every human on this planet, regardless of what their race, age is, or whatever, and they can see it when they see me or when they hear my voice. They cut their head crazy, you know what I'm saying? Or those type of things. I've gotten a lot of those weird experiences. So I definitely know that that's there. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, I'm cool and calm and collective. I'm just not no smiling Negro, you know. My eyebrows are very heavy as well. And out here nowadays, the men don't have eyebrows. And the reason why they don't have eyebrows is because their brain doesn't produce testosterone. Hair is kept black by melanin production, and the strength of your hair is produced by testosterone. So the more hair that a person has. The testosterone is on the outside of the body and not on the inside of the body. So that's going to lower their masculine behavior. I have masculine thinking, so my brain produces heavy eyebrows. Okay, that's zero tolerant mentality. If you look at a lot of people today, they don't have eyebrows because they don't have testosterone running in their system. You see my Kicked Out of Heaven in Barnes and Nobles. I don't know how I got there. Thank you for that. If you do see my books in any bookstore out here, please take a picture of it and send it to me. You can send it to thegod720@gmail.com. Don't forget, all books are half off right now. Go to kickedoutofheaven.com, go to thewomansalchemy.com, and go to theblackmansbible.com. Okay? And that's what it is. Yeah, you're an owl. The owl has heavy eyebrows. They don't play that shit. They'll fucking descend on your monkey ass, goddamn, because their eyes are actually sonar. That's how they pick up movement in the night. That's why they hunt at night, is because their eyes are actually shaped like a sonar disc, like the disc the thing NASA uses to detect frequencies in outer space. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, that's what their eyes do. They can pick up movement underneath the snow. The snow owl, they can pick up movement underneath the snow by their eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so don't think that I'm angry or I'm stiff or whatever the fuck. I just know who's gonna do what and what is what there for what, and especially when it comes to my sonar sound waves, when especially when it comes to me, when I'm out, I'm just gonna get at the ladies, and a lot of them be scared shitless of a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Not only because of my facial features, but because of the production rate. I got to start lying to girls and tell, oh yeah, I work at a warehouse. I'm a government contractor and shit, because when it comes to the books I've written, girls will look at my stuff and be like, oh my God, this nigga summoned demons. No, dumbass. That's not how it works. I was interested on the subject and I wrote on the subject, just like every single author who wrote these books that are behind me. You're interested in the subject, you research the subject, you produce the subject. It's that simple. That's why, scholars, you read my books out of the academia.edu and try to be as unbiased as possible during the course of you reproducing prior subjects that were discussed on. Now author females are scared of me too, because the majority of the book realm is first of all, the book industry is controlled 85% by white females, and that's also the literary agents. So they're looking for J.K. Rowling's, they're looking for um what is it, the Harry Potter stories, they're looking for fiction shit, that actually locks down the nonfiction. So fiction and nonfiction are sort of like in a war with each other. And fiction is designed in a way to break down the ancient world capabilities once they write it off as false and produce it. When you take facts and write it off as false and produce it as false, the facts can no longer operate. Okay, so that's why we're into this situation right now. You see, I've taken situations that were considered to be false, like witches and werewolves and vampires and the undead, and I found them in areas of fact and reproduced it as nonfiction. What I've written are called unsolicited manuscripts when it comes to the book industry, meaning that when you talk about subjects of that require a background of scholasticism and high degrees, and you don't have you don't have colleagues that can support you, nor do you have the degrees in these areas to classify yourself as a authority, hence the word author is in authority, then you're going to be written off as not looked at. You see what I'm saying? But due to the fact that I've read so many books, and I've read a lot of books that are also considered unsolicited manuscripts that were very potent when it came to the realities of existence. I decided to go ahead and go down that same route. And my books are obviously undeniable, but people are very scared to approach because of what I've stated, how I've stated it. I did it unbiasedly. I didn't speak from a standpoint of giving the black race gratuities or giving the white race gratuities. I spoke in the space of what's right and what's wrong. Now, what you also have to understand about the kicked out of heaven is that, you know, the Europeans are kicking the whole world's ass. So how did you be able to do that? And I want to kick a little ass too. You know, my feet get cold at night, and you know, to stick my foot in, you know, the crevice of an ass cheek, it's warmth. You know, I like foot warmers too. You did it, I want to do it too. Why not, motherfucker? You know, we're not gonna do this bullshit of you can do something and nobody else can fucking do it. Fuck that. What the fuck are you talking about? I like it. I want to see what the fuck we're talking about here. So you kicked gross amount of ass on this planet, and I want to know how in the fuck are you able to do this shit that you didn't set up on this motherfucker. That's it. So in order to understand that and to accept those rules, we have to go into the culture line. And then there's going to be things that are right, hands down. And even no matter how degradative or how debauched and insane or immoral that they may seem, you have to find the lane of righteousness. Yeah, I'm going to say that. You have to find the area of righteousness within all of that immorality, because they righteously kicked your motherfucking ass. And that immorality was a part of the system of how they kicked your motherfucking ass. That's all there is to it. And the Negro thinking has a problem with that. The Negro thinking, they want to develop a philosophy of melanin and we from Egypt shit in order to try to stick their chest out to the world. And for those who don't, they need a bandana and a gun and 30 years in the pen to stick their chest out to the world and say, I'm OG, with a couple of face tats, you know, or maybe diamonds on the neck or something of that nature. And no, you're still being considered a child because of your lack of development. Okay. The lack of your responsibility. You're still considered a child. And that's why other races need blackface to feel freedom. Okay. White people, all other races on the planet imitate black race with black face because of your lack of production. Your lack of production means a lack of responsibility. Your lack of responsibility means childlike freedom. And in order for other races to attain childlike freedom, they mimic you. And that's your dancing and your hip hop and the way you talk and the way you walk and all of that, because all of those things are done in a space of childlike freedom. Okay? I hope you understand that, you know. I hope you understand that, you know. You were being mimicked because you are the space of freedom and don't care. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about your own. You don't care about your future generations. Okay. And you have yet to consolidate your race, even though there's a lot of large psychological requirements in order for you to do that. Folklore, religion, you know, common food, common dress code, common understanding, boom, boom, boom. And then we also have to be covert in a lot of areas as well, because, you know, there's spies, you know, it's war. Every other race on this planet has militarized their race. You have yet to do it. And that's even for the Mexicans and the Spanish. They have militarized their race. Regardless, they may do all this cartel thing amongst each other, but you best believe they'll take that shit on they'll shut all of that shit down. If a racial situation was to occur, they will go to war with the other races. You dig what I'm saying? Now, we also have to understand that, what was I about to say? Yeah, they militarized their race and we have yet to do it. And it's going to take a lot. We disagree with each other too much. And we listen to our women. The same women that you can't even handle in court. You know? And that's not to be a shout out to women. You have to understand that Western civilization, like the cartels and like Asians as well, they keep the women out of the business room because women disturb the focus of the male. And that is a natural reproduction genetic code. Okay. So, because that is a part of the situation, in order for the male to focus, we need everything about the female out of the room because you mess up the production, because you invoke thoughts of the tits, the cleavage, the ass, the scent. We want to know, we want to dominate, we want to, do all of this other shit, and you change the focus. Okay, so that's why females are kept out. It's not because we hate you, it's not because we don't like the way you think, it's not because of none of that shit. It's because you disturb the focus of the male. Okay, and that is naturally in the genetic code. Okay, you have to understand what the natural laws of the situation is. You know, um, yeah, the Indian females don't mate outside their race too hardcore. Good luck with that. A Punjabi, I have yet to have the Punjabi experience, even though I'm very closely associated with a couple of their gods. I don't talk about it that much, even though I mentioned Ganesha in the Black Man's Bible. I also mentioned Vishnu in that song Let the Games Begin, and but I don't like to talk about it too much because I respect the rules. And the rules are, if you have not been with a woman of that culture, do not go into their gods and mythology system. Don't do it. You might end up in some very bad places, because you have not been accepted by the right of the flesh. Okay. And that's how that works, you know. Let me see here. I got a question here. Do you think MAGA had to go crazy if Trump don't get 2024 election? We don't know what's going to happen with the election. It's all bound into a big realm of mysteriousness right now. I don't vote. I've never voted in my life. I might go vote now. I feel like it's a powerless situation, sort of like a earthquake. I don't know if my vote is being counted. When you understand all of these Republicans and Democrats are related with each other and the way the finances work, it's all chaos. It's all corrupt on every single lane of it. Regardless of, you look at the past 10, 20 years, how many recessions have we been through? How many potential government shutdowns or real government shutdowns have we been through? We just went through the COVID. We went through the Y2K. We went through the Mayan calendar 2012. The world was supposed to blow up. The towers fell in 2001. How much bullshit have we been through over the past 10, 20 years? And during that entire time, I kept a woman with me. I kept some green with me. And I kept my rent paid the entire time. So I don't, it really doesn't affect your dimension. I guess that depends on how strong your mind is or what you put your allegiance with. I don't align myself with anything that doesn't align themselves to me. So I'm not going to align myself with any sports team. I'm not going to align myself with any fucking thing. A rapper, a fucking car, a brand. I'm not going to align myself to shit that don't support me. I'm a Leo. And with me being in full Leo capacity, I believe in reciprocation. So if you don't reciprocate, you're not getting shit from me. If I thoroughly like you, I'll show you, okay, I'll go ahead and play the card first. But if you don't play that card back with me, it's done. I don't chase nobody about shit. You know, I will go provide on my own. And that's why I wrote all these books on my own. Do you know how many different types of businesses or ideas I tried to work on with people? They ended up being full of shit, can't meet deadlines, not on time, lying, want to play this ghost game. So if you want to do something right, you do it by your motherfucking self. And in essence, that ended up writing out a lot of people from getting the paycheck with me when I told them what to be doing during the course of the creation, and they still didn't see it because they weren't educated in them areas and they didn't educate themselves to do it. I had to educate myself how to write books. Then I had to educate myself how to edit books. Then I had to educate myself on how to make the marketing, how to make the advertising, how the book industry works, how the music industry works, all of this other stuff. I know I broke a couple of rules here and there because everybody's not going to be perfect with what they do, but I broke a couple of rules. Some of them were specific and some of them were unknown. So that's just how it ended up playing out. But at the end of the day, my back was against the wall and I didn't see anybody trying to make no bed for me. So I had to make my own motherfucking bed. And that's just what it is out here in this world. There is no sitting around here. You can't ever show me a time where I got up on my Facebook or anywhere else and I told somebody to support me, support me, support me. Man, y'all ain't supporting me. Y'all ain't this and y'all ain't that, blah, 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 blah. No, I said purchase the product. I didn't say support me, support me, support me, support me. You know what I'm saying? Even though that is the line of what's occurring. But if you were to do that, you would do that out of your heart. And that's where this book fucked my life up. Because I understood that the native by nature does not even understand what support is. They've never done it through it's not in their history. It's not in their genetic code to support. That's why a lot of black people will look at you and go right to the white man's product because historically, 2,000 years ago on the coast of Africa, the white boy showed up with 100 sips and niggas had a canoe. You understand? So with that being stated, they understood that, this white boy got a way higher lane of production than what the nigga got. So why in the fuck would I buy a nigga's product when niggas don't have the exercise and the development of products like Caucasians do? And that's why they're able to sell their products to everybody across the goddamn planet because they've been working on the production of products since minimum medieval times. Okay. It may be in Greece and Rome. I don't know. I only know about the medieval. I don't know about the extreme details of the everyday social activity of Greece and Rome. Okay. So that's the way it went down, So don't be mad at the Negro when they look at your product and then go somewhere else, because you don't know what you're doing. And you have to tell yourself underneath the guise of the entrepreneur's curse that you don't know what you're doing and it's not good enough. And you have to do it again. You have to do it again because it's garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage. Everything you do is garbage. Do it again. Garbage. Do it again. Garbage. Do it again until it reaches areas of high level perfection, until your shit is in the museum. It is garbage. Okay. And that's what you have to do. Okay. That's what I do to myself. That's why you see the overproduction. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Okay. Because that's the way the game works. And if you don't have the strength for reproduction, then get out the field, man. Go, go to the warehouse, go get a job. That's why the job was invented, because we know you natives do not know, and we know you natives ain't teaching each other, and we know you natives ain't teaching your children. That's what they know. They know that. Okay. So because they know that, they can rely on the job. Here, get an application. I don't give a goddamn about your zodiac sign. I don't give a goddamn about your traumas. You want money, so you come here to get money. So do this 2-week training, sign this application, and if your ass don't show up on time, you will be replaced, because there's always somebody else that needs money. You see how it works? So yeah, that's what the game is, man. I just wanted to come up here and kick it with you, man. Let my fans know I'm still here. Everything is good. That I will always be providing sanity. Okay, during the Mercury retrograde, y'all keep your head on tight. I got to go down here and play some chess with my sons for a couple hours. So that's what we're gonna do. And you got any questions, you better shoot them now, because I'm about to turn on the songs. I'm about to put up the what's the name here. Let me put up all the links. So I don't want to hear nothing about no complaints. Oh, I could get worried about a book. Oh, it's fucking weird shit. Go to the kicked-out-of-heaven.com. You get it for $50. Go to the woman's alchemy.com. You get both both encyclopedias right now for $100. Okay. both of them, and they thick. They're huge and thick, just like the Encyclopedia. I mean, just like the Kicked Out of Heaven. Okay, humongous. You see, so do that, and we will you will get the books immediately. You'll definitely get it for Christmas if you purchase now. And I know there's somebody in your household that's been talking bullshit. Oh, nigga, you don't know nothing about no white man. And that's another thing. Y'all niggas stop trying to poke out your chest, trying to tell somebody some shit. That's why I wrote books. Fuck trying to tell you. I'll show you the facts. You argue with the fact in the book. Don't argue with me. Because niggas is always so worried about trying to do this superiority bullshit. You have no line of superiority in existence, nigga. Till you can develop your own military and militaries with inside militaries, then nigga, you're nowhere on this planet. You're nowhere. Accept that position and deal with the fucking reality. Stop trying to live in this bullshit ass Disney world everybody thinks they can operate by, and it collapses on you. Falsehood will always be attacked, and it will always be destroyed. And those who supported the falsehood will always be embarrassed. And that's how existence has worked. Okay? And it ain't going to change. The internet ain't going to change the laws of man and social operation. It's not. The shit is still here. You know? So stop trying to poke out your chest. You don't know how many Moors then hit me up talking about, yeah, man, you know. So I remember one time a Moor hit me up and was like, man, you know, another Moor stole my Kicked Out of Heaven, man. I got to buy another copy from you. I said, what you talking about? He was like, man, whenever I go to the temple, I put your book up on, I put the Kicked Out of Heaven up on the podium when I speak. And one time I put it up there on the podium and he had to go use the bathroom. And by the time he came back, it was gone. What type of fucking shit? Bro, there are understandings of existence that I have gained out of that Kicked Out of Heaven that only I can explain. So because you have a book talking about white culture and all of this, don't mean shit. And then because, and I'm supposed to be the Moorish brother with you, but you didn't invite me to come speak on the things that I've discovered, and also to answer questions from your audience and to develop the intelligence of the Moorish group. You didn't do that. You were more worried about trying to poke your chest out that you have the secret data and the secret information. You're full of fucking shit. And that fucking mentality of, I got the secret data, I got the secret data, that type of shit is the main reason why the whole race is stagnant right now. You know? So, whatever. You know, if you had arguments with any family members, just buy them the books for Christmas. You know, and then what's going to happen is they're going to buy the book, they're going to sit back and read the book every now and again. They're going to come back at you, man, I didn't know, and man, I'm sorry, and man, this and that, you know, I learned this and I learned that, and boom, 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 yeah. And then you have questions with each other. Well, what do you think about this? What do you see in that? And that's how I talk to people. You know, is what do you think? What do you see? What do you? Because everybody is different. Everybody has a different zodiac sign. Everybody has a different, you know, sight of perception of what they read. There's 360 points of view in every single situation, you know. So y'all go to the millenniumdvds.com, you know, show some gratuity, show some appreciation for the prior scholars. You know, they are on the site and available. And I'm also doing sales right there. Like I said, you spend over $100, you get 10 DVDs free. I still do bulk sales as well. And go to the blackmansbible.com for all my other books. Go to kickedoutofheaven.com for the Kicked Out of Heaven. And go to the Woman's Alchemy for the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women. Okay. So let's play 2 tracks here. I think I'm going to play the Coptic Gnostic. And I will also play the Coptic Gnostic is a song off the Shaka Zulu album. And then you're going to hear the Star Lord off of the Wired for War album. Here we go.
The Coptic. Everybody said they was gonna hold me down. Till I wrote a couple books, niggas don't know me now. Broke the whole world down like an OG Kush Brown. Then I passed it all around, cause I'm known around town. And I can't be greedy, gotta get to the needy. Gotta live in the city, in the bright lights fight. Everybody think they tight, but the vibe my tribes don't come in no type of dance. You get no second chance when you fall with the dog head. Bounce in your hog head, lights in the fog. In the middle of the desert, we was counting trips together. Then I saw your bird feathers, then your flock got measured. Watch your body drop like hot embers. When we speak business, don't have the hot temper. Never was a pretender, just need to go get her with a fat dairy. Yeah, we put two in the air. Did she take the dance and bear and ride me in the chair till the time got lost? How you test God? I already hung on the cross. How you test the devil when I pissed on the cross? Where's some spaceship, bitch? It's time to live, dog. You get with Chris the Call. Oh, hell, the A-dog. The bill, it pays off. Yeah, carry your mouth. Watch your mouth, cause it gets very scary. That's out. Boss, what's that about? Leave them hanging on trees. So screens of G's. Yeah, they be in the breeze. Seen so many things. Cartel, money, sour cream and cheese. With the guacamole, I'm the one and only. Halo, call me. They gave you the OG holy. No one is before me. Better know it. Show gon' show it. It's that Holy Ghost shit with my Bloody Mary. On the block you love, getting dust with my fairies. I'm concealed with the carry, I'm too real for the sherry. For the likes and comments, you'll wish and promise. Shit you spit be garbage, can get with a mix of pits and Bob mint. I'm a super soaker, never will a troop be over for the hot Ruger holder. When the ice makes you colder, advice for a true soldier. What a lucid soldier, you are Joe without a Johnson, throw the street to the mob. Hoes want the boyfriend, then give him a bob. Cause I need me a slave, free labor as always. Been the way to get paid, came from the grave of strange truth decay. Never lose my way, this is presidential credentials with a gritty nipple. Big hips on the bitch, call her hungry hippo. Hop in the Hummer like the blunt with the zipple, make life so simple. I'm a all another nigga and you bitches in the middle. This is Batman, Robin, the Joker and the Riddle. Poke holes in the little, this is God official. In the blood, in the tissue, you don't want that issue. Grandma will miss you, mark my words, the block will burn. When it's not your turn, better plot and learn. Cause when ain't turn, it's not your concern. Sing like a mockingbird just to get out the cage. This is Sunday covered in a werewolf's rage. Count Dracula game, sleep during the day. This is nocturnal, Glock burn hoes, Dante's Inferno. Fame size of a kernel, corn, 82, 83, yes a pimp was born. When they hate on me, take it up with the Lord, and don't say what for. Don't be jealous of the good fellas. Niggas got a good grip of what the truth tells us. The Gnostic. Become Darth Vader just to have the paper. Become Darth Vader just to have the paper. They ask if I'm the Star-Lord and what I'm looking hard for. Rest in peace to Pip T every time I slam these car doors. But I'll answer the question. Smiles decrease from lessons like you're hearing from target practice with automatic weapons in the search for perfection. We leave those hurt with discretion. A secret, keep it quiet. Unless you wanna try it, my defiance is known. That is international. My account is my blunt. I sprinkle miracle grow. This the remarkable flow of the 720 against the wind we are standing as I break all commandments and rewrite them for the planet with dollars stacking, watching baddie Italians tanning on my laps is the cannon. This is mathematics and understanding, upper handed we are. Stare out the jet's window, gotta keep my vision far. Never forget my past with all these battle scars. That's the law of daddy raw, and I can't have no flaw. My diamonds on my bottom jaw, my time looks just like stars. Thanks to my automobile because my status is large. It's not about who's in charge, as long as there is respect. But we all know common courtesy won't cash you a check. It's not that I've seen it all, I'm just not too impressed. Your brain change when you go through things that you don't expect. What you think is a game and funny, I take as a test. The only security is money, so it's best to invest. Every day you gon' be hungry, nigga, don't leave a mess. They talk under their breath, I suggest that you address and leave them blessed. No trace, all grace, nobody, no case. Can't cry over spilled milk because we've all made mistakes. Destiny's never late, they mad, I control existence and I made my own plate. Do what thou will, cause 7 figures is the real estate. And if you gotta speak twice, we call that regurgitate. So it's best to be nice while you talking to snakes. I know you feel fake inside, nigga, but that's what it takes. Young blood, these are the breaks for those that's coming of late. You can't use an excuse if you pursue the pearly gates. It's best for you to move like an ace in this rat race as that black cat chase. In this game of chess, the king only moves at one pace. You lose the game if one piece act like it don't know its place. And keep your queen in the exquisite lace with expensive taste. She be aboard the Star-Lord and can't see his face. Become Darth Vader just to have the paper. Become Darth Vader just to have the paper.